I've seen a ton of people making costly mistakes when setting up their Skool communities, one of which is setting up their name wrong and not being able to change it later. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the complete process of starting and setting up your Skool community properly from day one. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is create your account. Now, I will put a link below this video to where you can get a free 14-day trial. Otherwise, if you are actually inside Skool already, what you can do is come up to here and then click that drop down and it will say create community here. And when you select that, you should see something that looks like this. And they will basically give you a free 14-day trial for you to be able to try out before you actually have to pay anything. And then after that, it's going to be about $99 per month. And that's everything included inside of your community. So it's $99 per month per community. And once inside, you're going to see something like this, except yours will basically have nothing here. It will probably have the name of your community here. Now, what I would like to tell you when setting this up, and something that I see people often get wrong, is that you want to name the group for what you want your URL to be to begin with. So if you have the name of your community and it's going to be, let's say, Golf Tactics, then you would want to call your name Golf Tactics here. But if you just wanted it to be shorter and just be golf, then just call the group golf to start with, and then you can change the name inside of the settings to be Golf Tactics, and then but your URL will show just golf and then a number. Now you can change this later on and I'll show you how, but for now you just want to make sure that you're putting the name in here that you want to begin with to at least look a bit shorter even with that number. But you can't change that URL until you're out of your 14-day trial. So you want to be able to get this right at the beginning. So whatever the name is, just put it in here. And then again, inside the settings, we can change this afterwards. So then if I come back to your community, as I said, you're not going to see any of these graphics here, none of these things down the side. These are things that we add later on, including your graphic image here that you're going to see. But the first thing that you will see coming across is you will see a community tab. You may not see this if it's not turned on by default, which is your classroom area. And then you will also see a calendar area, which if I go into one of my other communities, you will see here again, that may not be turned on. And then you will see your leaderboard and your about page. And these are things that we want to start creating as we move forward. You're not going to see any posts here, and you're not going to see any members or anybody inside. It's probably going to be encouraging you to get new members to come, to get people to sign up. So we're going to get to how you actually use this section in just a moment, and also how you add these tabs and everything else. But I would say the first thing that you want to do is you want to come across to your settings here and just click that to open it up. And then inside, you're going to see dashboard, payouts, invites, general, custom URL, again, we'll get to that soon, where you can do your pricing if you don't want to start with a free community. I recommend that you definitely start with a community, and I will, inside our free community, you can get additional training on the different strategies you can use, be it a paid community, free to paid, having courses inside. So whatever you're going to do, there are many different formats and strategies that people are using to be able to monetize these communities. Then you've got your category section, your tabs, plugins, metrics, gamification, and discovery. So let's start with the top. Your dashboard area is going to show very little at this moment. Now, this is a pretty new community that I've just created, and it's got the signups here, the number of people visiting your page, and your conversion rates. So you're going to be wanting to change your about page to improve these conversion rates, and it's something that I have to improve as well. So basically, if your number is a bit low, and it's worth noting that the average on Skool is about 15%. So if this is not 15% like mine currently is, one of two things is not right. Your about page isn't optimized to convert more, or the traffic source you're getting is off. So it's not quite right. So you need to make sure that your about page and your community is congruent to the traffic that you're sending in. So if you're sending traffic from YouTube or you're sending traffic from Instagram, it needs to be congruent for the offer and the community that you have. So this is where you're going to see. And if you had paid people, this is a free community, obviously, so there's no paid people coming in. But if you did have paid people, this is where it would show your monthly amount and then your one-time course sales here as well. So then coming down, You've got payouts, which will show how much payouts you've got. Again, this is a free community, so you're not going to see anything, but it goes through about a 5-day period to get out of pending. And then you would actually see that amount in here. And then they pay out every Wednesday. And you would need to link your bank account to it to be able to get automated payouts. The next part, which is probably quite important for you, once you've gone through and you've set everything up and we've got some graphics inside, you want to share this link with people that you want to get to sign up. Now, this will be a link that goes to your About page, but if you actually wanted to directly invite people, you could just add their email to here, and they will get an email inviting them. Now, obviously, I would tell them that you're going to invite them in advance so that they don't think they're just getting random spam from Skool to sign up. But you can also, in bulk, let's say you've got old clients or an email list, maybe you want to send them a few emails to say you're creating a community and that you're going to auto-invite them so they can automatically invite them to put them inside. Then you can bulk import invites. So you can actually put a CSV file in here of all your emails. So if you go into your email autoresponder, then you would be able to download a CSV file and then import it into here. So you could actually invite all of your email list in a bulk way. So that's a great way to get people into your community even faster. The next thing you're going to want to do is come down to your general settings. Now, this is where we're going to make sure that our graphics are all set up and ready. So you're going to create your icon. It will probably show the initials of your community name. So in this case, this is Community Funnels. So mine did say CF. Now, you really want to change that to an icon. And Canva, I'm not going to do a training here. I've done trainings in other videos, but if you guys want additional training on that, then just let me know in the comments and we can create a video on that as well. But in Canva, just create a bespoke size creation, and then you can actually just start to select different icons and everything else and create a simple icon that is relevant to what it is that your community is about. Make sure that it's going to be quite big. So you want to keep it, you don't want too many things going on because the icon will not be this size. It'll be about half this size. And you want to make it sure that it's clear on mobile devices and everything else. The other one is going to be 1084 and 576. So again, you want to create a bespoke size creation inside of Canva and then start to work from there. You can use all of the templates and pull in any templates that you want. I find thumbnail templates are a good one to pull in once you've created the bespoke size, and it will resize to this. Now, again, you want to keep this relatively simple. When you're getting discovered, which we'll get to later on, this is about the size that people are going to see it. So again, you want to make sure that this is pretty darn clear. An image of your business or something that you do, but not too much writing and things going on. And then here you can change your community name. So if you kept your URL and your name when signing up simpler, perhaps you just had it as funnels or something. So then you've got a funnels and the number for your URL. Here you can now change your name, and you can change this as many times as you like. So this isn't like the URL, which I'll show you in a moment. This is the name that you can change as many times as you like. So I could change this to something else whenever I want. And you then have the description of your community, and this will actually show up if you go into the community area. You will actually then see that description show up here. And then you've got the initials. Again, this isn't really relevant because that will be showing here. So again, because we've changed these images, you're not going to see it. This is the color if you were just having initials for the icon. So again, not that relevant to you. You've got private, which is automatically what happens, and then public. If it's public, that means that everybody can see what is happening inside your community without being a member. Now, they can't post and they can't comment or do anything like that, so they would still need to sign up. But this basically shows all of the different things going on in your community to the general public. So it just looks like a forum where people can read everything but not necessarily sign up unless they want to engage. But if you're going to do private, then they will only see your About page. So they will only see your About page, which again is going to look something like this, depending on if you've created it. So you'll have some text and the image. So if it's private, they only see the About page unless they are logged in, so they won't see anything else. Your custom URL, which I mentioned before, you can change here after your free 14-day trial. But it's important to note that you can only change this once. Once changed, that's it. It's over. You can't do anything else. So you really want to make sure that you get this right. And if you think there's any chance of you changing this in future or changing the name again, then I would keep this to something more general but short. So again, this is a bit like choosing domains. the bigger Skool gets, the more important it will be to have a short and relevant URL. These will become almost valuable in their own right. So you may want to say, okay, I just want to call it Skool Funnels, in which case I would copy that and add that here. But again, you can see that I don't have the option to change it. So I would only have that option after the 14 days. So again, make sure that it's something general so that it's going to be timeless. If you're talking about cooking, Skool cooking tips for students, and then you want to do more general cooking later on, or you want to change to something else, then you kind of pigeonhole yourself. And although you can change this name, the URL is not going to look right. So make sure that you get this right, and so that you basically, when you change it, that is it for good. The next one is the pricing. Now, if you decide that you want to charge for access, which I don't recommend to begin, I always recommend getting people inside first. Free communities generally convert a lot better than paid, even $1. There are ways that you can block spammers and everything else, so don't worry about that. If you're thinking, I want to charge $1 for people, then don't do that. I would recommend actually just going for free and using some of the tools inside for moderation to make sure that you're eliminating the sort of time wasters and the spammers and everything else. So you're better off getting more people in, but there are things you want to do to make sure you're getting the right people in. And we'll briefly touch on that inside as we move through. But what I would recommend is at least getting the first sort of 100 in for free. And then if you wanted to have just one community, or you just wanted to make it a paid community from day one, perhaps you're growing a YouTube channel, it's an entertainment one. Maybe you want to replace Patreon and just have a low-cost membership where you're getting people in and delivering value inside, then I would get people inside first. Think of this a lot like starting a party, or arriving to a party, should we say. No one wants to be the first to the party. How many times have you gone to a bar or something, there's no one there, and you say, oh, let's go for dinner, we'll come back later. Or you just don't want to be the first to the party because it feels awkward. So no one really wants to be the first. So you really want to get as many free people in as possible, and then you can remove people later if they're not engaging or anything else. So better to get more people in to start, and then get more tight later on as you're getting more and more people inside. The categories, these are where you can do those different tabs that are across the top, as I briefly showed you. So if we go back to the community area, you can see different tabs that you can create here for different topics. So different categories are quite useful. I would start off with just a few to begin. So perhaps say for this one, everybody has the sort of general discussion one, and then you've got one for tactics, one for wins, maybe you want one for questions as well. So just have a few and then see what questions people ask. And if you want to segment even more so people can just select one tab and only see posts from that, then you can do that here. So you just go add category, and then you can add different tabs. And they, as I said, will show across the top here. The next part is your tabs. Now, as you saw before, the classroom area and the calendar, they can be turned on or turned off. So if you were going to do live calls, you may want your calendar turned on. So for example, in this group, I do many live calls, everything from sort of group sessions, trainings, and then also support as well. What you do is you click that and you can add your different links inside here for them to be able to just access it. And you can also restrict access to these based on if people have bought a product or if they haven't bought a product. So there's lots of different settings for these, and they can even be on different levels from the leaderboard, which we'll get into in just a moment. But you can have these turned off at the beginning. So if you don't want to do live calls at the beginning and you don't want to have online courses, then you can close these down so that you've actually got less tabs across here and it just looks simpler. So if you just want the community, the members, the leaderboards, and the about, then you can turn these off. Plugins, these are the different options that you're going to have. So when you're signing up, as I was saying before, spammers is a great way to actually have some questions to ask people. So I've got here, and I keep changing them to try out different things, but you could say, for example, where are you from, or how did you hear about us? I'm asking for a channel link. You could then ask for an email, which I always recommend because then you can link and do automations later on. You can also manually collect their email just to begin with. So it's something that you can come back to, and you can see these questions inside everybody's profile for all your different members. So you can always refer back to these later on to see what they answered. And then we have different Zapier integrations, a bit more advanced, but we all maybe want to automate things such as adding your email, the email that they give you in the questions, automatically into your email autoresponder. But we're not going to go too much into advanced automations. Webhooks are the same. These are triggers for automations. You also have your auto DM put on. This means that you can send out an auto DM when someone signs up. So if someone signs up, for example, I've got this here, I'm telling them where to go and what to do next. Now, you can, as you're starting out, it's maybe better to do personal automations. I like to do an automated one and then a personal one, but you still want to be reaching out to your members to make them feel special, especially if you've got a small community like this one here is brand new. When you're new, you want to be more hands-on and more sort of welcoming as possible, more bespoke if you can do it. And then unlock chat at level 2. Now, I think unlocking chat at level 2 is a good idea. I think everybody should be able to post. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for them to move up the levels. So, for example, this helps to reduce spam. So I'm actually going to turn this on for this community as well. And then we go done. And that means that they have to at least have commented, engaged, post, and done things before they can start to DM other new members. And that way, people don't just come into your community and start messaging all of the different members for their own benefit inside. You can it's basically stop spammers from actively trying to get involved, because most of them are too lazy to try and create a couple of posts or make some comments to try and level up. So you can actually just stop a lot of those spammers and time wasters. As I said, I would probably leave the posting as is. You then have pixel tracking for both your ads on Facebook and then your ads on Google, which is great. Probably a bit more advanced. If you're someone that runs ads, then this is going to be great for you. And you can also do instant membership approval. Maybe you just want to get everybody inside, a bit like a Facebook group without approvals. It's up to you whether you get everybody inside or you don't. So if you just want everybody to automatically come in, this is where you do it. And then you have metrics that you can look at, which are useful to see how active your community is. So we've got a number of people in there. Everybody's pretty active, although it's brand new. And the gamification part is where you can actually set up and change the different parts for your leaderboards. So you've got your leaderboards here. You can change these different names here. And that's where they find out how they can level up and get different points to be able to advance and move forward. So this is a great way. Maybe you want to make level 1 sound a bit negative, so it encourages them to move through. And then what you can actually do is unlock courses for the different levels. So when you're creating courses or you're selling anything or freebies or booking a call or whatever you want, whatever action or reward, you can actually give different rewards to gamify this process to get people more involved in your community. So this is a really powerful option to try and get people to advance and move forward inside your community. Then we have discovery. Now this gets unlocked, and I really need to put some work into this one because I'm very, very far off. So I need to start pushing hard. But basically what happens is once you've got a few people inside and you're meeting the minimum requirement, you can start showing in discovery. And this is a lot like Facebook groups where people can discover other Facebook groups on Facebook. Well, it's exactly the same. And this is probably one of the features that makes Skool so unbelievably powerful. It's crazy that people can discover you. There's millions and millions and millions of people on Skool now, just like on Facebook. Facebook, probably billions, but Skool is growing and growing with the right people. People that want to do things or are actively willing to get involved in communities, pay for communities. So the more you move up through these ranks, and it depends on how active your community is and also how many new members you're adding. So the more members you add and the more active they are, the better. So you want to be removing inactive people or trying to get them to take action, and you want to be trying to add as many as possible. And then you start to move up through these ranks quite quickly, actually. So it's a good way to get additional free members without you having to send any additional traffic inside. You then have the links that you can add, and these are different links that you can add either public, so you can make them private only to members who are logged in, or you can make it to private as well. And if I go cancel, come across, if I come back to the community tab here, you're going to see that you've got some links that show here. So you can decide to add 3 different links just below, and that's quite a useful way for getting people to take action such as start here or book a call or whatever it is that you want to do inside. And then you have your billing tab and your affiliates tab. So those are other useful settings inside. Now, coming back down, you've got your about page. This is an important one for you to get started on. Normally, just adding an image here is going to be most useful. You can add about 6 different things here, be it a video link or adding an image or anything else. Now, when you're adding a video, it's got to be something from YouTube, Vimeo, Loom, or Wistia. So you can't host, not yet anyways, you can't host directly on the Skool platform. So you maybe going to want to use videos that are private, say, or even public from YouTube. Or if you've got a Vimeo account or a Loom account or Wistia account, then you can add your videos here. Otherwise, if you want to upload an image, this is the bespoke size that you're going to have to create inside of Canva again. And then they will just show up here. So if I click on this one, you would see the image that shows up. And this acts as this is a bit like an opt-in page. If you think of this as like a sign-up page for capturing an email, this is really what your about page is. It's trying to sell your community and the benefit that they're going to get from signing up. So you can have a video sort of telling them what it's about and explaining the benefits. And then you can add a description here that again sort of doubles down on what they get inside and the benefits to signing up. So you want to make sure that you're optimizing this just like you would for an email sign up. And again, if you join our free community, I'll give you some additional help on doing this. And then the leaderboards that I briefly showed you, this is where you're going to be able to see everybody inside, who's taking action, who's leveling up, and where all the different things that people can unlock are inside. You then have your classroom area. So this is where you can add all your free training. So we've got some free training in here. And then if you've got a community with more of these, you're going to see a lot more. So this is where you can put online courses, call recordings, freebies. You can even have people that book coaching calls or whatever else. You can unlock many different things in here. And you can unlock them in a variety of different ways. So for example, if I go create a new course, you can add a course here, add the name, add the description, obviously short description. And then you can add it that is open to anybody that signs up or buys. Unlocked at a certain level. So again, the leaderboard. Buy now, someone just pays and buys now. So it's a one-time, should we say. So an actual standard sort of paid course. Time unlock, which is a good one. If you're doing challenges and that sort of thing, you maybe want to unlock different weeks as you're moving forward. You can also do that on a lesson level per day. So maybe you got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You can drip feed it and unlock it day by day from when they signed up. And then you got private, which means that you can decide who gets access. You manually give people access. So maybe you've got someone on a call and you say, if you book this call or you come to an onboarding session or a group onboarding, then we will unlock an additional reward for you, and you'll do that manually. Again, you've got your bespoke size for creating your image here, which is going to be the image for the actual product itself. And that is it. And you can keep it on draft while you're working on it and then go live whenever you're ready. But otherwise, you can see all of these different courses here inside. And then if we go back, you're going to have your community tabs. Now, inside the settings, if you want to pin things here, you do that inside your settings for your personal user. And inside your personal user profile, you're able to change the notification settings for different things. So maybe you don't want to get notifications every time someone likes a post or a comment, in which case you can change those settings in your personal profile. And you can also pin communities down the side and give them a different order. Now, if you want to discover new communities, you can come up to here. And then the last thing is actually creating posts for your community. And that is really straightforward. You literally just tag them here. You create a title. You can add expressions, you can add GIFs, which are really powerful. You select the different categories that you want to connect it to. And every 72 hours, I think it is, so every 3 days, you can send a mass bulk notification email. So you can capture that email and send them emails, or you can actually send them a bulk email to all members for a post notification. So if you've got an important post, you'll send that to them. Now, they also get notifications each time something in your calendar, such as a live call. If there's a live call, they get an email the day before. So you don't need to worry about telling them about that. The system automatically does that for them. And then you just write this like you would any post. You can add a video, you can start polls, you can make it so that they have to take an action. You can add links inside as you create out the post. You can attach images or files or anything else, just as you would expect in like a Facebook style of group. And then there's an additional benefit. You can then actually also pin these to the top. So once they're created, you can pin up to 3, and you can move them around, of these to the top. So you can have a welcome message here, or you can have certain notifications that you want people to see when they first log in. And what you can also do is you can pin these. If we scroll down, you can pin them to different course pages. So if you've got a lesson inside a course, then maybe you want to be able to actually link to that. So let me show you an example of that in action. If I come to the classroom here and we go down, you can see here, got a strategy call here in the part. You've got some information here, and then you can just link this so that you get people to actively post on a comment on a post, as well as it just makes your classroom and your lessons a little bit more active. And then you can have videos that people are watching and then get them to ask questions on the workshop or lessons below. And you can do that for all of them. I've got, say, challenges in other communities where we go day by day and we link those inside. So these are really, really powerful different settings. That's it for this video. Any questions, just ask in our free community or below in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you inside the next one.